Alright, so it is currently May 18th, and I have just finished version 1.2.4 of my game. Again, just like 1.2.3 before, it's just kind of a cleanup update, making things smoother, making little changes, making little adjustments, and, fixing bugs, adding little features to make the game feel a little better. There's a lot of smaller features that I want to add before I add anything big and flashy. So, yeah, I gotta get all of those done anyway. Oh, right here. Alright, again, I have some patch notes here. I'm just gonna go through them. Alright, first things first. Wait, have I had to do there? No, it isn't. So, the first thing I fixed was that apparently the dash indicator, aka the green X, would appear regardless. If you are pressing the spacebar, you would. Alexa, volume down. I know, unprofessional moment. Like 5 people are gonna see this. No one expects quality from these reports. Okay, so I realized that when you press the spacebar and you were not inputting the direction, the dash indicator would be going to the right. And now this caused a lot of visual confusion, or just confusion, because it looked like you were going to dash to the right, and when you didn't, it felt awful, because it felt like the game was lying to you, if that makes sense. So it's changed so that way it only shows up when you are moving, and also only when you are actually inputting a direction. Yep. Speaking of dash, I made the dash in have a little bit more force and have less friction, so I might as well put that in the patch notes because I don't think I have. Dash force increased to. Let's see here. Dash friction to increased to 0.05. Alright. Anyway. So yeah, and a few other things related to the attacks. The swing animation's start buffering function no longer changes the parent's interruptible state. So this essentially means that start buffering and start interruptible are now completely separate functions. I increased the knockback from 900 to 935, and I also made it so each subsequent hit in the sword swing animation deals less damage and thrusts the player forward less. And also, in order to compensate for this, I made the large sword swing deal more damage. So, as you can see here, this and the above change were made to emphasize spacing, so I'll show you with the sandbag. So, as you can see, if I were to just attack, you will see that each attack thrusts me forward less, and you can't see it right now, but each attack also does less damage than the last. This is to emphasize spacing. So if I'm really close to the enemy, I will always get all 3 hits in. But if I'm a little far away from the enemy, then I might miss the final move, or I might miss the first attack, or I might miss the second attack. You get the idea. If you are too far away from your target, then you will not get the full combo in. And this is intentional design. Alright, I want to make it so that way this attack is more effective if you're closer to your opponent. Anyway, what's next? Oh yeah, I also made it so that way the large sword swing now will make the player invincible. Alright. And I also changed it so that way getting hit will now delete the current player's swing, because I realized there was a bug where the player would get hit and then go into hit stun and then would still play out the rest of their attack, and I didn't like that. That looked weird and it was unintentional, so I made a little thing to make sure that wouldn't happen. Anyway, in terms of efficiency, the player now has a clear swing function, because let's see, I'm gonna go to that function right here. because I realized I repeated this piece of code 3 times, so I thought, why not put it in a function? And I also added a new and I also updated the get input vector function right here. I realized that this little bit of code, if input vector is not equal to vector 2.0, I actually was using that little bit of code a lot. So, in fact, I used it 17 times. So I decided to just put that value in the receiving direction variable, and then I can just have it, and I can just reference that variable. And that, of course, made the code way easier to read and way more efficient. So it's a win-win. Alright, now another thing. While I was playtesting, I noticed a weird bug, where if you were to interrupt a player's attack with perfect timing, you would become invincible permanently. And of course, when I realized that, it became my top priority bug, and I spent a bit to fix it. It's fixed now, so you cannot obtain permanent invincibility this way. An interesting consequence of this is that the thing that was causing this was the set invincible function. And the set invincible function was basically flipping if the player was invincible, and it was using that a lot, so it led to weird behavior. Basically, that's fixed. That you can no longer obtain permanent invincibility by interrupting an attack with a good timing. Alright. Also, there was a weird thing where in the previous devlog I said, hey, the player can now attack while they are thrusting, or interrupt while they are thrusting. But because of a few bits of code that actually wasn't the case, I fixed it. I can definitively say in confidence that you can interrupt while thrusting, and this also ended up fixing a few weird behaviors related to interruption. Like, for example, there was a bug where if you interrupted an attack with perfect timing, you would get the attack stuck to you, and I didn't like that. Apparently, this magically fixed it. I don't know why. It was just weird. So, I did say that was fixed in the last devlog. It's actually fixed now. Yes, you can no longer get a sword stuck to your body by interrupting an attack with a good timing. Alright, what else do I have? I did notice that there was some interesting buggy behavior where if you attacked and then immediately dashed with perfect timing, which it's a bit hard to get it to go. But like that. Like that, there you go. Basically, it would cause a state where the player would apply the dash while the player's swing is playing its animation. I don't like that. Well, maybe I could fix it. Right here. Dash. Let's see, did that just fix it? That appears to have fixed it. Just one line of code. Who would have thought? Sorry about that. Man, the audio in these devlogs are so bad. Oh well. Alright, might as well say it. Player can no longer get an attack animation stuck to them by interrupting an attack at a certain time. Alright, there you go. And now we have the big thing, which you can see I put a lot of information in there. Alright, so basically, I added a new state. Oh, look at that. Right there. Dodging. Alright, so what it is that if the player hits the dash button or the space bar while completely still like this, they will go into a dodging state where they will just simply become invincible. You see that little black square, or I mean blue square? See how it's becoming transparent, well, more transparent, I guess, that means that the player is becoming invincible. Well, it comes complete with like a dodge timer, a dodge speed, a dodge function here, a dodge state. You know, it's a fully fledged mechanic at this point. However, in fact, I will demonstrate it to you. I'm gonna go ahead and get a basic enemy, and I'm gonna put him all the way on the other end of the room. And I'm just going to be pressing the spacebar. Oh wait, he's just missing. Oh. All right. Oh, I'm bad at this apparently. You see here how I am timing my spacebar presses with perfect timing, and I am able to completely dodge this enemy's bullets until that happens. And you have the ability to interrupt this, I think. Let me see. Okay, maybe you can't interrupt it, but that's basically a spot dodge in Super Smash Brothers. However, I noticed that if you were actively trying to fight something, it's difficult to get a spot dodge compared to something else. So I thought about changing the input to a double tap instead of just holding or something. I don't know. So that's really about it. That's everything for version 1.2.4 on today. All right, that's it. Bye.